wouldn't it be nice to have several thought leaders in your industry know and love your brand? Start a podcast. Invite your industry's thought leaders to be guests on your show, and start reaping the benefits of having a network full of industry influencers. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm Jonathan Green.
And I'm James Carberry.
Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Marc Fisher. He is the CEO of Dogtown Media. Marc, how are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me on, James.
I'm stoked to chat with you today, Marc. We're going to be talking about something that is very near and dear to me. And it's something that I've actually been hearing a lot from listeners. Just this idea of, kind of being in the pit and not being the quote unquote success story and struggling and kind of being in the muck and mire of startup life. When you're hearing all of the success stories of everybody that's crushing it and growing 300%. And I'm excited because you're going to share actually a lot of the story of Dogtown's early days before you guys, experienced the explosive growth that you've since experienced. And there were three specific things that you guys did kind of in those really hard years that according to you kind of mapped to the success that you guys are seeing now. But before we get into that, I'd love for our audience just to have a little bit more context around Dogtown Media and what you and your team are up to over there.
Great. So I co-founded Dogtown Media in 2011, and we are a mobile technology studio based in Venice Beach with a global reach and an innovation center in Montevideo, Uruguay, of all places. And we started from humble beginnings as two guys on a couch dreaming up app ideas to now a team of 40. And what we do is take ideas and turn them into impactful digital products. And we work with a lot of exciting companies like Google, Citibank, and the United Nations. As such, our expertise is in robotics, Internet of Things technologies, and wearable devices for medical health and helping people get better medical care as a result by bringing all these things in the real world to life to basically monitor your vitals in real time and give information to a doctor remotely so you don't have to go in for a visit.
Love it. Awesome. So let's go back to kind of these first 3 years of Dogtown. You guys were struggling to monetize the apps that you guys had built. Can you take us back to that kind of season of the business and just kind of set the stage so that we can dig into that piece of it a little bit more?
Absolutely. So we started from humble beginnings, and it was just my co-founder and myself. He's a techie, and I was a self-taught designer and product manager. And we had ideas for apps, but we really didn't know what the marketplace had in store for us. Back then, when we got started, it was kind of like the Wild West, and we were just throwing darts at a dartboard. Thinking of great ideas to bring to market and then to market them and run with them. Now, our first app that we put out came about 4.5 months after we founded the company. And we were working nights and weekends at our day jobs and our respective companies to bring the idea to life. And the first app we ever launched into the marketplace was called Dog Boogie, which was kind of an Instagram experience for dog owners. And what made it unique is that we built a soundboard into the app to allow the user to activate the camera and have their phone bark, meow, or yoink, or oink to get their dog's attention.
Nice.
And, yeah. It was super cool. It was well received by the community. We got tens of thousands of downloads in the first couple months, and a lot of positive press and good juju in the tech community. And it was a success from the standpoint that people were engaging with the app. They were using it. They were giving us great feedback. But it was very difficult to monetize, especially a social app that didn't yet have the mechanisms that we have today for Facebook, Instagram, and others, big ad networks or data to be a driving force in monetization. So we started teaming up with a couple other folks and co-developing and co-branding apps of different sorts for the health and wellness space. And they were making a minimal amount of money, but it was very difficult to kind of keep the lights on and to build a team out as a result. So for the first 3 years were definitely a struggle.
I've talked to a lot of founders with a similar story that, it's you're trying to figure out what your niche is. You're trying to figure out the market that you should be going after. There's just so much that you're trying to figure out in those first few years. But the part that I love about your story is you guys, you stuck it out for 3 years. So few people are willing to stick it out that long. And after that 3-year mark, there were, as we were talking offline, you said that there were 3 things that you guys had started doing kind of during that 3-year window that really started to pay off starting, after that 3-year mark. You guys have since gone on. You're now, on the Inc. 500 this year. You're number 271 on that list. You've gone on to achieve incredible growth. But I want to talk about these 3 marketing avenues that you guys leveraged to really catapult you guys to that growth after that 3-year stretch of struggle. You mentioned that the first thing you guys did was really around personal branding. In your community, you and your co-founder were known as the app guys. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So even though we weren't making money, everybody thought that we were the most successful guys in the world. And I was driving a 12-year-old car at the time, and we were renting desks at a co-working space. Yet everybody was coming out of the woodworks asking us to listen to their app idea and pitching us to build something for them or with them. Sometimes it's an equity play. Sometimes they would pay us for our services. But it started to kind of snowball. And we became more and more warm to the idea of pivoting into a mobile technology studio model versus the startup that we were formerly. And it worked really well because we just sat back and everybody we knew, aunts, uncles, friends, distant relatives, friends of friends would start referring us business. And the phone calls and the knowledge base of our tool set grew as a result pretty quickly.
I'm really ashamed to admit this, but we went the first 3 years of our business without having a single case study. I know, pretty ridiculous. So I finally broke down and had Kappa 99 create a couple case studies for us. We sent them some examples of other case studies that we really liked. Then we sent them the stories and the results that we wanted to include. After a few rounds of revisions, we now have 2 beautifully designed case studies that we send to pretty much every one of our prospects. When you sign up with Kappa 99, you get unlimited graphic design and unlimited revisions for just $399 a month. Head over to b2bgrowthshow.com/design and try out their 15-day free trial. That's b2bgrowthshow.com/design. Let's get back to this interview. So by really establishing that brand, there was a lot of inbound coming your way. And that was just really hyper local, obviously. So being known as the app guys in your kind of friend circles. But then you guys also did something else, which I think is interesting. You started holding meetups in the area. Talk to us about the thought there and kind of what was the strategy behind that.
Yeah, so we started the company in 2011 when the app world was the Wild West. And we started in Venice Beach, which is the heart of Silicon Beach. And back then, just 7 short years ago, the startup community didn't even resemble what it is today. Most people were working in, accountancies or selling insurance or, stable corporate jobs. And all of a sudden, the mobile revolution started a bum rush of folks that had app ideas and wanted to start their own startups. It had never been easier, cheaper, or more fun to put a team together to come up with an idea and then to bring it to market. And we wanted to share our experiences and our knowledge, and especially the story of our failures with other folks in the community to kind of create a sustainable startup community here in LA. And it started with just a story of how we marketed our app and everything that we did wrong, and kind of a story of like a hero's journey on how we made every bad decision and tested things until we finally found the magic bullet. And that attracted about 45 folks to that first meetup. And as a result, one of the guys that was attending our meetup actually referred us business, and that's how we scored our first client.
Love it. I love it. And so kind of branding yourselves as the app guys, holding these meetups. This is something that I've been starting to do recently with LinkedIn Local. We're starting to do it with B2B Growth, from organizing dinners in different parts of the country. And I'm already seeing kind of the fruits of that come in. A third thing, the third marketing avenue that you guys really focused on kind of in that 3 years of hard times in the early days was SEO. Can you talk to us about what you did from an SEO perspective that really kind of helped catapult you guys to becoming what you are today?
Sure. So in my past lifetime, I had founded a small niche digital agency focused on helping kind of the gilded type of companies attain their marketing objectives. So I was working with a lot of accountancies, law firms, mid-sized law firms, and small and medium-sized medical centers to help these professionals get more impact in their communities and generate more inbound leads. And as a byproduct, I absorbed all of that knowledge around how to build a website that is easily found online for the search keywords that we were focused on. And I launched our website and put some SEO love into it. And as a result, we were ranked very highly for something like 185 keywords in the top 3 Google rankings. Those were just short tail type of keywords. And folks started to find us and then contact us morning, noon, and night from around the globe. People in Hong Kong to Kuwait to London to right around the corner in Santa Monica were pounding on our door to tell us about their app idea and try to bring it to life.
Do you think that strategy would be as effective today, now that, obviously, it's much later in the game? There are a lot of, SEO is a much more crowded space now. Would you advocate for young companies to deploy that now, or is there something that you think would be more effective than SEO today?
So SEO is an investment, and it's a it's half magic, half science in order to optimize your site and to create inbound links that will lead people to your site and therefore get crawled by Google and show credibility and authority in the search engine web crawler's eyes. I would definitely invest time, effort, and maintenance in building out an SEO strategy. But there's also a lot to be said about the shotgun approach of getting out there, meeting the people that you want to be doing business with, holding webinars, holding meetups, going to meetups, and also utilizing some of the other paths to success, such as business directory listings, where companies like your own may be listed, and make sure you're in the top rankings there. Doing things like optimizing your social presence and your presence on LinkedIn so that you show up as professional and credible and an authority in your particular profession is really important. So it's all about being found, and then when you are found, showing up like the professional that you are, so that people instill trust in you when they haven't met you yet.
Mark, this has been great. So just to kind of boil down the 3 kind of marketing avenues that you guys leveraged to go from 2 guys broke on a couch to being number 271 on the Inc. 500 list. You guys established your personal brand. You became known as the app guys. You started holding meetups locally. Through that, you started getting referrals to clients, and while simultaneously just continuing to reaffirm kind of your personal brand as the app guys in that area. And then you focused on SEO and ranking for, specific keywords that drove targeted traffic to your site. Marc, if there's somebody listening to this, they want to stay connected with you, they want to learn more about Dogtown, maybe they want to work with you guys in some way, shape, or form. What's the best way for them to go about doing both of those things?
Absolutely. The best way of getting in touch, of course, is through our website at dogtownmedia.com. Also finding us on social at Dogtown Media on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And then connecting with us on LinkedIn. If you just search Dogtown Media, will come up front and center. You can also get in contact with me at any time. My email is marc@Dogtown Media, and our company email address is contact@Dogtown Media. And we're always open door policy, looking for bright business founders to talk with and big business owners to consult them on how to bring their vision to life and get the most impact in the marketplace, and bring their mobile strategy to the palm of your hand and millions of other people like you.
Wonderful, Marc. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been incredible, so I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, James.
There are lots of ways to build a community, and we've chosen to build the B2B growth community through this podcast. But because of the way podcasts work, it's really hard to engage with our listeners. And without engagement, it's tough to build a great community. So here's what we've decided to do. We're organizing small dinners across the country with our listeners and guests. No sales pitches, no agenda, just great conversations with like-minded people. We'll talk business, we'll talk family, we'll talk goals and dreams. We'll build friendships. So if you'd like to be a part of a B2B growth dinner in a city near you, go to b2bgrowthdinners.com. That's b2bgrowthdinners.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.